I'll be talking the next few minutes about the value of generative AI to data economy, concerns, regulations, and also some thoughts from the kind of regulation point of view. How do we keep up with the pace of development of generative AI? As we all know, the generative AI like ChatGPT is gaining exceptional traction at the moment. It has reached 1 million users faster than any other digital service before, and the user keeps growing exponentially. Just in 3 months, it gained 1 billion visits altogether. So it's the new Google, just way better than any other kind of traditional search engine before. And although the short period of the time using ChatGPT in professional life, for example, myself, it feels already like hard to live without it. I can say I use it every day, and we use it with our clients as well to help them to discover, for example, new data and AI opportunities, or finding solutions to other challenges they might have. So it has dramatically changed the way of doing business. It has changed the way of working, and it will have a huge impact to our work life also in the coming years. So we are definitely living interesting times at the moment. So the PwC has estimated that the biggest potential kind of economic uplift from AI is likely to come from the improved productivity. So it means the automation of different routine tasks, for example, and employees using the AI, which is then freeing up time for some other higher value adding work. And Goldman Sachs estimated that generative AI will increase the global GDP by 7% and productivity by 1.5% in the 10 years. So there will be also big changes in the jobs also, and the changes in jobs will be dramatic, as you can see in the numbers. So many jobs will be partly or fully automated. So the Goldman Sachs estimated that 2/3 of the occupations will face change due to the generative AI. So especially creative work such as content creation, customer service, advertising, marketing, translation, or education will face big change in the coming years. But the fast pace of the development also raises concerns, as we can see almost daily in the news nowadays. So the Center of AI Safety published a statement where they compared the risks of AI to pandemics and nuclear war. So that kind of wording definitely got people's attention globally. And then the World Economic Forum raised also concerns of the creative workforce losing their jobs due to generative AI. And the World Economic Forum were really concerned about the possible copyright infringements, fake news, bots boosted by AI sharing misleading information, and so on. And well, you all have probably seen examples of creative work done with DALL-E, Midjourney, and the Coca-Cola advertisement that was created with AI. So the risks have been widely acknowledged. Recently, Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, has been in the spotlight. 1 week he was demanding more regulation for AI, and another week then he was threatening to block ChatGPT in Europe if the regulations are too strict. And the CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai, said that the AI is not a hype, it's here to stay, but it's way too important not to be regulated. He also said AI will impact how we live and learn in the future. So we need to be careful about the possible risks of AI and generative AI. He also stated that we should have more philosophers, social scientists, and linguistics involved in the development of generative AI. So it should not just be the programmers and computer scientists who plan our future of generative AI. You can probably easily imagine lots of different impacts of generative AI that it could have to the data economy. We have heard very insightful other presentations before and heard how it could impact the healthcare and the financial sector. And as we speak about the data economy here, we mean the global digital ecosystem, where the data is used to create value for the actors in the ecosystem in different ways. So generative AI can boost this value creation quite many different ways. So it can, for example, be used to create realistic data sets for testing and training purposes. This can be especially useful, for example, in scenarios where the real world data is difficult or too expensive to obtain. It can also address the data privacy concerns. For instance, generative models can be used to create synthetic versions of sensitive data. It can power the personalized content creation as well, for example, in digital marketing, which can greatly enhance customer experience. For example, different online services can generate more personalized content based on the customer behavior data and the demographics of the user or the customer. And well, definitely it will revolutionize the creative work in the entertainment industry, no words. But it will also help companies in many ways to generate insights from the business data, from the external data, helping creating strategies, exploring more innovative ways to make value with the data. So, well, this is quite much visible already in, for example, Twitter or LinkedIn, as people are making lists and recommending new AI-based apps every day. So there's lots of things going on. So you can imagine the authorities have really difficult job to keep up with the development of generative AI. So many regulations are still on the table. For example, the copyright law is being reformed due to the impact of AI on creative work. Regulations such as GDPR, e-privacy often seem like an overreaction to the challenges of data protection and data reuse. But once you get used to them, it would be quite difficult to imagine life without the rights those regulations brought us. Currently, the EU and the US are preparing ethical guidelines for the development and use of AI, just because they cannot keep up with the development of AI. So therefore, they have planned a set of standards before the actual regulation is in place. And by up these guidelines, they hope the large corporations such as Google, OpenAI, Microsoft, and Apple are at the front end to apply these voluntarily. But of course, it remains to be seen how it will be applied in practice. But at least this work should be in line with the requests of the CEOs of OpenAI and Google we saw before in the presentation. So the EU has taken a risk-based approach to the application of AI. So they have published risk assessment framework for evaluating the risk of AI application. So it basically categorizes the AI systems into 4 levels of risk. So the unacceptable, high, limited, and minimal or no risk. So the unacceptable risk AI systems are banned, and the high risk systems such as predictive policing, diagnosing diseases, or recommending treatments based on AI will have to meet strict obligations. A good or a scary example of this unacceptable risk application could be, for example, a social credit system that has been developed in China. So the government assigns a social credit score to each citizen based on their behavior, and these scores then could finally affect the person's ability to do things like travel or get a loan or even send their children to some school. So in summary, the companies operating in EU need to conduct their risk assessment, classify the risk level, create a risk mitigation plan, and if they're working with the high risk systems, they need to comply with the kind of strict regulatory requirements. And the use of AI also needs to be transparently communicated to the users or of the application or the consumers. So, well, regulation of AI can have many impacts to the data economy. It can, influence the pace of innovation. It can potentially slow down as companies need to spend more time on compliance. So if you remember all the hassle with the GDPR, it slowed down many other data projects in the companies to But however, on the other hand, it can also build trust in the AI system, fostering wider participation in the data economy, attracting investments to the companies working on it. And as Europe is one of the forerunners in the regulation of AI, it can have also a positive side to EU's global competitiveness. So, but of course, there can be the negative side as well, so that it slows down the growth as companies in other countries probably don't need to meet so strict regulations. But finally, well, these regulations can shape the job market. There can become a need for new roles in AI ethics, regulatory compliance, and data governance, while at the same time, AI might have negative impact to some other jobs, like in the creative sector. So then finally, this is my final slide. So if I had to choose a couple of things that would help us keep up with the evolution of AI while ensuring its ethical use, I would summarize them to these 4 topics. So first, so that policymakers should strive for balance, creating a regulatory framework that provides clarity and protection without unnecessarily hindering the technological process. Secondly, Europe should continue to invest in the AI education and research so that we have highly skilled workforce and resources, which then can also drive the innovation in generative AI. And thirdly, Europe should encourage the adoption of AI across different sectors of the economy, different industries, and support also the startups and SMEs. As, they are in the forefront of the innovation, and the compliance with all the regulation is a burden for the SMEs. And finally, Europe can differentiate itself and gain competitive advantage by promoting AI that is transparent, it is fair, and respects the user privacy. So I think GDPR did the same to the personal data protection earlier. But thanks, and over to you, Kaura.
Thank you so much, Jaakko.